Before we get into the topics, as outlined in the flow and sequence, I want to draw your attention to something important. Keep this in mind as we progress through this series. A very brief overlook at the revenue structure and behavior. The slide here depicts the revenue structure for a typical tertiary care hospital. The numbers are indicative and could change widely between regions and locations, and also depending on the nature of hospital services. This has an emerging market slant. The purpose is only to give you a glimpse into how various service lines contribute to the overall revenues of a typical private fee-for-service tertiary healthcare hospital. And more importantly, I want to remind doctors that there is really no hospital or healthcare business without them. So typically, diagnostics, imaging, pathology, etc. occupy about 22% of the overall revenue. The inpatient beds occupy approximately 14% of the overall revenue. Intensive care units, operating room procedures, another 24%. Emergency rooms and OPDs, approximately 6%. Pharma and pharmacy drug sales, approximately 31%. And then, of course, canteen, parking, miscellaneous, between 3 and 5%. Now, as is evident, the top three sources of revenue occupy almost 75% of all the revenues. Just look at it. Look at pharma, 31%. Look at OR and ICU, 24%. And then look at diagnostics, 22%. Now that's 75% of all revenues, and the profit margins from these revenue sources are also relatively higher. Remember that every dollar of revenue that accrue to the hospital is due to the doctors. They decide when to admit. They decide what diagnostics to order. They determine what medicines to prescribe, when to transfer, when to discharge, and when to follow up a patient. Even the innocuous canteen and parking revenues, 3% or so, is also due to the doctors, yeah? Why would I visit a hospital and pay parking fees and eat at the cafeteria if not for meeting or consulting a doctor? Doctors should remember this undeniable fact. We will revisit this in detail later in the series, but for now, we get back into taking a peek into the minds of our doctors.